Welcome to my podcast, Life with Denise, sharing inspiring conversations and heartfelt wisdom. Follow online at denisepettit.com, YouTube at Denise Pettit, and Instagram at Denise Pettit. Am I right, or are you right? Well, maybe it depends on our perspectives. Today I want to talk about perspective. There's a saying that goes, the more you know, the more you realize what you don't know. Hello, I'm Denise, and this is Life with Denise. Perspective has several related meanings. One is the point of view, the general sense, a particular way of viewing or evaluating something that's shaped by someone's experiences, their values, or their position. And then there's the mental or the psychological sense. The capacity to view things in their true relations or their relative importance. Like keep things in perspective means not exaggerating or distorting how significant something actually is. In the Bible, in 1 Corinthians 13:12, it says, "For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know, even as also I am known." That's the King James Version, and it's right after that famous love is patient, love is kind passage. The glass darkly image is about limited human perspective, like looking through a dim, imperfect mirror. But remember, mirrors in ancient times were polished metal, not clear glass like we have today, versus the full, clear understanding we'll have eventually. So it's like really the go-to Bible verse about perspective. It's saying our current knowledge and the viewpoint are only partial, and they're clouded compared to the fuller truth that we're going to know. Our current situation, our past experiences that shape us, information that we know now, our seemingly true advice, and much more give us our perspective. Did someone tell you something about someone else and you believed them, but then you met that person and you found out that what you were told just wasn't true, and their perspective was totally different than yours? Or did someone tell you about a place or an experience or even an event that they attended, and when you went to that place, you had the same experience or you went to the same event, but your idea and recollection was not at all the same as theirs? I'm sure that all of us have, because I have. Have you ever had an opinion about something and you just knew that you were right about a situation and how it would go or what would be done, and you were just sure of the results? But then the event happened, or you lived through a situation or a relationship, and then you experienced both sides of the story, the before and the after, and suddenly your perspective changed from the before to the reality of what really happened. That's when we realize that life has a way of teaching us lessons and keeping us humble with the uncertainty that everyday living brings. That's what's called perspective. I think about how many times that I have walked into a situation I was absolutely certain about how a friendship would go, certain about how a job would turn out, certain about what a season of my life was supposed to look like. But then quietly, life patiently showed me a version of events that I could never have predicted from where I was standing at that time. Not because I was foolish for believing what I believed, but because none of us can see the whole picture from just one spot. We only ever get to see from where our own 2 feet are planted at the time. Perspective isn't about who has the facts. It's about where you're standing when you gather those facts. There's an old parable. You may have heard some version of it, and it goes like this. A group of people who can't see are asked to describe an elephant. One touches the trunk and says, "Oh, this is a snake." Another touches the leg and says, "This is a tree trunk." Another touches the ear and says, "This is a fan." Every single one of them is touching the truth, and every single one of them is wrong about the whole picture. I love this story because it's not really about elephants. It's about every argument that you've ever had with someone you love. It's about every time you were so sure that you were right and the other person was so sure that they were right. And you were both just standing at different parts of this same enormous, complicated animal. And here's the thing that nobody tells you. You can't actually see your own blind spot. That's what makes it a blind spot. The only way to see more of the elephant is to walk around it, to stand somewhere that you've never stood, to ask someone else what their hands are feeling. We use the word obviously a lot, like obviously that was rude, or obviously that's the right way to handle it. Maybe we say, obviously they meant it that way. And obviously is a word that perspective loves to hide behind because it lets us stop looking any further. It lets us stay right where we're comfortable, touching just that one part of the elephant that we already know. You had one perspective before, and now looking from another side, you have a different perspective. That's life. That's the human experience. We keep thinking we understand something, but life keeps showing us that we don't. And somehow we have to find a way to keep going anyway. We push through the uncertainty and the disillusionment and realize how much we need to keep learning and growing. We realize how much we don't know about life. And if we can really understand how much we don't know, then we can hold on to a perspective that's both confident and humble at the same time. Confident enough to keep moving forward, but humble enough to know we might be wrong about some of it. It's good to respect both of those sides. And speaking of both sides, there's a song called Both Sides Now that poetically tells the story of dreams, love, and life, and the disillusion and disappointments that come with living every day. Do you know it? Have you heard it? It begins with wonder. The kind of wide-eyed, anything is possible wonder of someone who's young and believes that the world is just going to be exactly as beautiful and easy and predictable as they thought it would be. Then it deals with the unexpected, messy, disappointing moments that we all experience. It says, I've seen it from both sides of life. There's a gap between the life we imagine and the life we actually live. Neither view gives you the complete truth. It's just like when my daughter Ashley and I look at the same horizon and we see completely different things. I think we're both right, and I think we're both missing something. That's what perspective does, if we let it. It doesn't just show us more of the world, it shows us more of the people we love. It reminds us that even the people closest to us, the ones we think we know completely, are still capable of surprising us with a whole angle of life that we never considered. But there's so much to be gained as we live every day, and so much of life given, shared, treasured, built, and enjoyed, and a future of hope and legacy. Yes, something's lost, but something's gained in living every day. There's no line better that describes what it actually feels like to get older. Not the Instagram version of aging gracefully, but the real version. The daily negotiation between what you've lost and what you've quietly and visibly gained. The way that the riverbed changes shape without you ever seeing it happen. You wake up one day and realize that the water has carved a completely different path than the one you remember. And you can't even point to the exact moment it shifted. It just did. Slowly, the way most real change happens. There's an invitation here in all of this to be honest about what it means to experience everyday life, to grieve the illusions but keep going, to hold the uncertainty and let it open you to a great future and hope and possibilities. So really, it's wise to acknowledge that we're always learning, always growing. But we continue to build on the foundation that we've laid with the lessons that life has taught us. And nothing is wasted. Let the disillusionment teach you and inspire you. It's all about your perspective. I want to just pause here for a moment and say something to whoever might be listening today who feels like they got it wrong, because I'm sure at some point we've all felt like we've gotten it wrong. Maybe you've trusted the wrong person. Maybe you believed a situation would go away and go one way, but it went completely another way. Maybe you look back now and cringe at how sure you used to be about those things. But I want you to hear me. That isn't proof that you were foolish. That's just proof you're human. You were standing in one place in time, doing the very best you could with the view that you had. You don't have to be ashamed of an old perspective just because a new one taught you more. Growth was always supposed to work that way. And I believe God can take our mistakes, our misunderstandings, our not so great decisions, and our delusionments, and show us a bigger perspective and use them for invaluable life lessons to grow. And we can treasure those as we grow and get into a better version of who we really can become. This new and wiser vision, with a new perspective and clearer understanding, spreads through our influence, and it actually ripples through the tapestry of our life. These lessons impact and change generations. Somebody down the line, maybe a daughter, a friend, someone you never even meet face to face, is going to benefit from the wider view that you fought to gain today. That's how perspective works. It's never just for you. It always ends up being a gift that you can hand down. So here's what I want you to remember. The next time that you're absolutely certain about how something is going to turn out, or someone is going to turn out, pause for just a second. Not to doubt yourself completely, but to leave a little room. Room for the parts of the elephant that you haven't touched yet. Room for the horizon that your daughter might be seeing differently than you. Room for the wisdom that's still waiting for you further down the road. The kind that you're not quite ready to hear yet, but you will be someday when you're standing in a different place. Life has a way of humbling us in the sweetest way if we let it. And every time it does, we get to walk away with a little more perspective, a wider perspective, a little more grace for ourselves and for everyone else who is out there standing in their own place, touching their own part of the elephant, doing the very best to understand life. This is Life with Denise, and my perspective is to share lessons and thoughts and experiences and things that I've experienced so that we can be encouraged and learn together. Share this episode with a friend and message me about your perspective. Oh, and by the way, go to Spotify, Pandora, Amazon Music, or any platform where you listen to music and download Both Sides Now by The Pettits. You can visit our website at www.thepetts.com for more information on how to find it. Thanks for listening. I'm Denise. See you next time. Thank you for listening to Life with Denise, sharing inspiring conversations and heartfelt wisdom. Follow online at denisepettit.com, YouTube at Denise Pettit, Instagram at Denise Pettit. See you next time.